this for a Renaissance woman? Actress, producer, pilot, computer scientist. When we say Justine Bateman has done it all, we really mean it. And now she has a new provocative project. We're going to speak with her in a moment, but first, a quick look back at where it all began. Watch.
In the 1980s, the show Family Ties brought the Keaton family into living rooms everywhere.
I'm trying to make a snack. I forgot how the blender works.
The liberal parents.
We're going out to demonstrate against nuclear arms. There's nothing foolish about that.
The quirky siblings, including conservative.
Hi, how you doing? I'm Alex Keaton.
Played by Michael J. Fox. And who could forget Justine Bateman as fashion-obsessed Mallory?
There are no silly stores. There are only silly shoppers.
The role would earn her nominations for 2 Emmy Awards and a Golden Globe.
We are on a higher psychic plane than you are. Our yin is in perfect alignment with our yang.
The show was a ratings blockbuster and is considered one of the most iconic sitcoms in television history. Bateman's success launched her career that includes more than 50 roles on TV and in film, including some of television's biggest comedy shows, like Arrested Development, opposite her brother, actor Jason Bateman.
Ooh, you're bad.
She also visited Wisteria Lane on Desperate Housewives.
Your creepy neighbor, he came over here and offered me money to sleep with him.
In recent years, she wrote and directed the short films 5 Minutes and Push.
Why don't you hop in and I'll run you home?
In 2016, this wife and mother of 2 graduated from UCLA with a degree in computer science. Now Bateman is speaking out about her years in front of the cameras and the pitfalls of fame. And what she has to say will likely surprise you.
And joining us now to discuss her new book, Fame, The Hijacking of Reality, is Justine Bateman. Hi. Thank you for being here. So this whole topic is so fascinating to me because you rightly point out that our society is fame obsessed. And you've lived it full circle. So you talk about rising to fame, like quickly as a teenager. You didn't have any designs on becoming famous back then.
No, it really just was this byproduct of me getting into acting, and it was on a lark, and yeah, it really shot up, and so it was sort of overwhelming, and I've done the complete life cycle, where I qualified as the love, the hate, the equilibrium, then the slide, where maybe only you notice it's sliding, and then the descent, where it's sand through the fingers, and then the without. Or are you ever really without fame? Can you ever not be famous again? So the book goes through that whole life cycle, but in a very raw, emotional style of writing.
It's very unsparing. I mean, it's you put it all out there. Your brother is Jason Bateman. He was on Little House on the Prairie with my friend Melissa Francis, actually. They were the next generation of Ingalls kids. You know I'm obsessed with that show. And so your parents were like, Justine, would you like to do it? You get cast on Family Ties. Next thing you know, I mean, top of the, hottest thing on the red carpet, the whole bit. Do you remember that feeling? I mean, was it heady? Did it fill you up?
It was more like, you're walking along the side of the river, and then suddenly you're in a raft and you're going down the roaring rapids, and you're just like, wait, what's happening? Just trying to keep your head above water. So that's what that was like, and for the viewers to give some perspective to how concentrated the audiences were back then. At our height, we had about 55 million people watching every week. Now, and on average, we had like 26 million people watching over the course of 7 years. And so to put it in perspective, top shows now may get 9 million viewers, and even some of the shows that are hot or maybe have around 2 million.
Right.
So because we didn't have the internet, we didn't have the consumer-facing internet like we have now.
Yeah, and even cable wasn't anywhere near as big as it is now.
We didn't really have cable. There were 3 top networks, and
still had the cable box in my house that was connected by a wire to the TV, and you had it like the A, B, C. Remember those days? No, but we all watched that show and loved you. But you're very honest about how when you become famous, they put like a sheath over you. People put a sheath over you, and what does that do?
Well, then you're inside watching them react to how they feel about you based on either what they've read or which is akin to being in a small town. Maybe somebody spreads a rumor around about you, and there's nothing you can do to change that rumor. So when you're famous, maybe it's a sort of a good rumor or a bad rumor, you know, in that sense. But they're coming at you with some prepared idea about you. But then also there's sort of a frenzy about it. There's sometimes people come up and they would say, oh, I like your work. But other times people come up and just say, oh, my God, you're her, you're that girl, yeah, take a picture with me, you know, and it's like this. So it's not necessarily about your work, per se, and it's really not about you, but it's about this thing. It's like this glitter cloud that sort of hovers over people for a while. Like I'm still as good a performer as I ever was, even though I don't act anymore. But so nothing changed in the quality of work I was doing. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Like that's maintained itself. But the fame then at the same time, you have these two lines. It goes up like this, and then it comes down. And you still have this thing here, but the frenzy was caused by the fame, not necessarily by, you know, now your work is the best it's ever been, and that's why people are reacting.
That's right.
It's because this odd thing that's happening.
What I think is brave about your book is you dissect and openly, honestly analyze what happens when the glitter cloud goes away.
Yeah, what I call post-fame, backside of it.
It's not what you might think. We're going to pick it up there when we come back with Justine in a minute. And we're back now talking with Justine Bateman about her new book, Fame, The Hijacking of Reality. And so you, in writing this book, obviously you know a lot of famous people. Michael J. Fox and you on the show together, and your brother. Did you talk to them at all in putting this together?
Yeah, when I first started this, I had just graduated from UCLA in 2016, and so I was in the mindset of writing, you know, college papers. And so my first effort at this was an academic version, which I think is pretty good still. But then when I was halfway through that, I realized that I needed to do the version that we have now, you know, the style of that. And so for that first version, I did interview like 18 different famous people, sports, you know, athletes, actors, like that, and had some great quotes to put in all of it. But now there's only a few in this new style.
Yeah. So you talk about when the glitter cloud fades, and you recognize at some point that your fame, if it hasn't gone away entirely, as you say, does it ever? It's different. It's diminished.
Yeah.
And what is that like?
Well, the trouble with, and look, I know this affects like a very small subset of people, but the reason I subtitle the book the Hijacking of Reality is that for a very small subset of people, fame becomes a component in the foundation of your reality, just like where you live, what language you speak, what job you have, things like that, right? Now, for us, for anybody, if any of those elements that are foundational to our reality change, like a spouse dies, God forbid, or you lose your job, or you have to move cities suddenly, it's extremely traumatic. And so for this tiny group of people, fame disintegrating is traumatic as well, in the sense that it's come in like water into like a flower bed, and it's gone into everything. So you might have a lot of things attached to it. You can't help it. It's become your reality, your self-esteem, your ego, where you sit in society, everything. And then it's also tied into, you know, your work opportunities, which is a whole separate thing, you know, to do with career. So when it starts pulling away, it starts pulling away those things too, like your self-esteem. So you have to start almost unhooking from when the cloud starts moving on. You have to start unhooking from the cloud, your self-esteem, you have to...
And hooking to something else. I mean, that's
have
the
to
beauty
develop
part of the book, is that it's the real Justine, not the one we saw in Family Ties or Desperate Housewives. The real Justine actually, in a way, came to life once you unhooked.
Well, it's funny. It's like if you live your whole life, not that fame's a crutch, but I'm trying to draw just an analogy. If you have a crutch always on your right side, and then one day they say, well, you're not going to use that crutch anymore, your right leg is not as strong. So you're like, oh, now this needs to be developed, you know? So it's not a bad thing. It's just, it's sort of startling, and you're like, oh, I had no idea that I have to. It's like if someone always laughs at your jokes, you don't get an opportunity to really develop a good comedy bit.
Yeah.
You know?
So what, I mean, knowing all this now, having the benefit of this wisdom, would you let your kids become famous? Would you want that for them?
No. I think power is good. Money's good. You can do a lot of good things with those two things. Yep. But fame, it's, I think also when it's introduced later in life, it's you have a better sense of yourself, and you don't feel so much like you're just you know, trying to live through the roaring rapid ride. Mm-hmm. You know, you have a better sense of yourself, so it's not becoming as foundational to your sense of yourself, and you can be objective a little better. You know. And
I would say, just being on television for a while, if fame comes, in my view, it's almost an unfortunate byproduct of delivering the news on television. You know, you want to deliver the news, and you want to tell people stories, and you want to connect with an audience, but that sort of fame, that false adoration that can come, is not fulfilling. And I do think too many people chase it. And we live in this selfie-obsessed world where we have these reality stars who are famous for nothing other than being famous. There's a sort of a vapid nature to it that is fleeting and I think unhealthy. I'll give you the last word.
Well, and in some cases, incredibly unhealthy when they fall off cliffs, when they die trying to take a picture to gain more followers. And I think what's happened, one of the things I hope people can take away from the book is this obsession with fame and attaining fame and sort of ignoring, you know, the skills and talents that each one of us has. I feel like we devalue ourselves. We devalue the work that we all do, you know, no matter what it was.
Yeah. And there are other things you can be putting your energy into that will, trust me, be much more fulfilling in the long run. Check out the book. Again, it's worth your time. Justine, it's great to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being
here.
here.
We'll be right back.